Shuda, kalla, tushik, chiki, briki, iftamke. Ossia, blitza, hapa, Shuda, kalla, tushik, chiki, briki, iftamke. Ossia, blitza, hapa, Shuda, kalla, tushik, chiki, briki, iftamke. Ossia, blitza, hapa, 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 Ossia, blitza, hapa,
Alright, here we are out in the backyard gear lab. Today, I'm finally getting around to doing a proper in-depth gear review of my hammock. So we'll get on to that. So here we are. I have these tree straps. This tree will be hanging off of this guy here. He's a little bit on the undersized things. He's got an 8-inch diameter, that's for sure, so it's nice and solid. But he's pretty slim. So all of this is just too much if I just sling this around. These trees are a bit too far apart and a bit too small, so I gotta wrap this around a few times here. So it's just gonna go like this. I started sort of this way, not this way, putting the straps into the tree instead of towards me. And I find that actually gets it a bit more solid. There's less weird overlaps. I don't know how to describe it completely accurately. But I have set up out here a few times. Find that starting that way instead of this way kind of gets the straps a little bit cleaner on the tree. Okay, so I'm just gonna, when I have the hammock hanging just straight like this, I find it, well, what I do is, it's a little trick. Instead of laying diagonally on the hammock, I turn the straps backwards so that it goes like this. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to pause that and then go in for a close-up. Okay, so you can see I've got the straps turned towards the back of the tree so that when I lay in it, this guy comes out like that. And I've found when I do that, it's kind of like, it's tricking the angle so you don't have to lay on an angle. The hammock is already at an angle, so you can just Alright, so I got this strap set up. Let's move on to the other tree, shall we? Okay. Now it's time to sling up the other tree. So I'll say some words about these slings here. I'll get a nice good close-up on this. They're pretty sturdy. You can see the weave. Now there's some fairly chunky threads in there, so it's a heavyweight fabric, and yet it's still relatively thin. So it's got a nice low profile. It's basically nylon. Yeah, the strap itself is nylon, according to the manufacturer. And so, given that, when you're setting up these straps, be aware that since it's nylon straps, there will be some stretch that the straps, some stretch in the straps. So you've got to set yourself up to minimize how much that stretch factor is going to affect your hang. And that's why I'm wrapping like this, getting these wraps on tight, and also positioning them in such a way that they won't stretch out a lot. Okay. Try to come this way a bit. Go. So the sling comes back this way, so that we can minimize stretch and maximize our hang. Okay, so we got the straps in place. They are nylon straps with whoopee sling attachments. So you got here a nice, whoopee sling style hammock strap system. And the whoopee sling element is, if I'm not mistaken, that is 4.5 millimeter Spectra. All told, these straps are capable of holding something like 1,200 pounds. Which far exceeds the weight capacity of the hammock, but anyway. Alright, moving on. Gotta have a cold one. Okay. It's now time to get the hammock out. Here we have the actual hammock, Clark NX-270. You've seen this before in a few videos I've made. Some hiking videos, some camp out videos. The last time I went out camping with Dano, I wanted to do a proper review of this hammock in the field, but it just didn't work out. I did film some stuff, but it was no good. No good. I'll make this easier on myself during the setup. I'm gonna zipper up all these zippers: the bug net, the weather shield. Okay, bug net, the weather shield. Oh crap! And here is the hammock. So I'll lay that out. Ooh, got a little, something cut me. Oh well. Okay. So the Clark NX-270 is a 9-foot, 4 seasons hammock. It's made primarily out of sill poly, I think. 20 or 40D sill poly. That makes it very lightweight. Reach for it. Okay. Woohoo! Perfect. Okay. There we go. That is the hammock strung up. You know, it's almost like I've done this here before. Okay. So the next step in setting up our NX-270 here is getting the poles in place. Where'd I put those poles? Oh, here they are. Okay. Personally, I find this the most finicky part of the setup here. But it's all just par for the course. The neat thing is, if you like lose these or break them, you could just use like sticks or stuff that you find in the forest, as long as they're flexible enough to fit through the sleeves here. So we got these little sleeves for the holes to go through. Standard concept. This is the finicky part, because they have these, I'll show you real quick what I'm talking about. So they have these little shock cord tabs connecting the poles, and when you're trying to feed it through the sleeves, these guys get caught. It's just, you know, this is what happens. You just deal with it, right? Okay, there we go. And done. So you can see that right there. It's the fabric is getting caught up on some stuff. I'm trying to install these tent poles. There we go. Ooh, still smells like campfire. All right, that's not a problem. Setting up the hammock, making YouTube videos, singing what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. Stop getting cut. There, okay, there we go. One and done. Oh, come on. Okay, come on. You're throwing off my catchphrase here. One and done. One and done, two in the shoe. Okay. Now we actually have to get in it for a second to see how it sits. Okay. The nice thing about Clark here is this shield system is cool. So we'll do a closer look at that in a minute once I test the thingy here. Seems a bit high. Actually, no, that's good. That's fine. Yeah. You actually want to set these up so that they're a little bit loose before you get in them. That's right in the instruction books. And I see a lot of pictures of other people really tensioning their Clark hammock when they set it up, and it's, you know, the manufacturer recommends you don't do that. Set it up a little bit loose so that things tighten up once you set up your sleeve system inside. Okay. A few more things I want to put on the hammock before, and that actually felt really good. fireman's go, I should actually lay in it. Sitting in it's one thing. Laying in it's completely different. Okay. There we go. Now, head end over here. Yeah, let's see how it works. Oh yeah, that's gravy. Okay. Huh. Interesting. Whew. Well, it's been a really humid day today. You might be able to see the sweaty sheen off my forehead. Whew. The weather shield up, that thing, wow, that turned into a sweat box fast. Okay. Well, that was fantastic. I set up here, I set up out in the backyard enough times that I don't really need to make a lot of adjustments. And so, what's nice about that is once you get used to setting up your Clark, you can feel pretty confident that you know, you can set it up, tweak things here and there. Most of the time, it's gonna be comfortable, you know, on the first shot, which is usually what you want. Okay. So what I just did there, I should have been talking about that as I was doing it. So this is the weather shield aspect of things. This is a 20D sil poly sheet, so it's impermeable, and that zippers around the hammock. And the waterproof rating on that sheet is what is it? It's 5K, 5,000 units. So that's a 5K rating. That's actually a relatively low rating in comparison to the 15s, 20s, 30s that you see out there, but it's still good. Basically what that means is if you're sitting in your Clark without a tarp, the weather shield and the rest of the hammock itself can withstand a light drizzle. So yeah, the 5,000 rain rating, 5K rain rating is about a light drizzle. So yeah, but you can feel comfortable knowing that if it's good weather, the hammock will remain weather. If it's good weather, and say you get a little shower at night or something, you can rely on the hammock so that to keep you dry. Okay. Then you have the integrated bug shield, which is very nice. Another important thing about integrated neck hammocks is that they really should be double layered or have fully sealed bottom tub area so that bugs can't bite your butt. This bottom tub is much heavier duty than the rest of the hammock, if I'm not mistaken. It's a 40D sil poly, so that's much more robust fabric with the waterproofing. So when bugs try to get at your legs down at this end, it's not so bad. Okay. So the next element that I'm going to set up on the NX-270 today is the underquilt. I'm going to go grab that right now. Back over here. Okay. Got the underquilt in the stuff sack. Just give you an idea of the volume of the thing. It is a synthetic quilt. If I'm not mistaken, the rating is -5, I think. So if you have the hammock, so if you have the underquilt, it should be good down to -5. Should be. that is true. I have used the underquilt at those temperatures, and it's accurate. You know, -5 underquilt, I would say that is true. Okay, so when setting up the underquilt, let's see, there are some tabs somewhere. So we have these sort of locator tabs here. And there's also some accompanying tabs on the hammock, so that you can line up the tabs and see to install the quilt. The nice thing about this quilt is that it velcros in place. There's a velcro, there's a loop perimeter of velcro around, well, there's a velcro loop perimeter around the tub of the hammock. Quilt has the hook side, so all you do is line up the locator tabs and proceed to join the hooks and loops of the velcro, which I think is a much better system than your standard underquilt shock cord hangings. I did have another hammock with, I guess you could call it a traditional shock cord underquilt system, and it always felt kind of drafty. Whereas this guy, there are no drafts. The only issue, everything's a trade-off, right? The only issue is that at the, you know, when you're laying in the hammock, where those Velcro strips join up, there's no insulation. And for me, it's my arms that wind up pressed against that Velcro perimeter where there isn't any insulation. So there is some transfer of cold through that gap into my arms. But that's you know, everything's a trade-off. You know, you'll get less drafts, but there will still be an occasional cold spot. So that's it. That's the underquilt in place. No need for shock cords or carabiners or extra gear. It's just, there you go. That's what I like about this Clark system. Fortunately, it's a good time to mention it that Clark Hammocks has closed their doors after something like 25 years in business. They are shutting down. Reasons why, who knows? Just I figure it's just time to retire. So yeah, like I said, I've been wanting to make this video for a while. Kind of hampered in doing it. You know, right after the camp out with Dano Bushcraft, when I wanted to make a proper review, they started demolishing a building right across the street. So it's like, it was just too noisy, and I was too lazy to go out and do a review in the woods. Okay. So let's, how about we do a close-up walk around of the hammock so far. Okay, so here we see the straps, nylon strap, 2 Spectra whoopee sling. Here we have the timp hitch system, and relatively lightweight, you know, non-mechanical aluminum connector, so it's like there's no wire gates or carabiners, stuff to, you know, break down over time. Or and the good thing about the design of this is, as it rains, so as it rains, the rain's gonna come down here and then drip to the underside of these Spectra slings. And then these washers prevent further drips from running down the tin pitch into your hammock system. If that does happen, the bed is fully waterproofed, so the stuff inside the hammock shouldn't get too wet, but water's water. If it can go one way, it's gonna find a way in. And so then we have the pole sections with the Clark NX-270. The rating at this side is the head end, so you can see the bug net there. You can see the lack of focus there. Now it's in focus. And so when the underquilt comes into play, it very much gives it that tub appearance. Okay, then we come back over here. Here's the storage pocket for the weather shield. Very nice, because that just tucks away when it's not being used. And of course the other end. The other end of the hammock with the tin pitch. Hitting up the Spectra sling to the nylon tree straps. Okay. Okay, so this is take 4 of me trying to ramble on about the Clark NX-270. It's very effective, very lightweight, 4 seasons hammock. It's jam-packed with so many features. Unfortunately, did you see that? I caught him in my fist and he flew away. Like, you know, some people have told me that I look intimidating, but the reality of it is, even when I want to, I can't hurt a fly. Alright. That one's going in the video for sure, whether it's edited or not. It's definitely getting in there. Get out of here, mosquitoes. I can't kill you, just go away. Okay. This is a very effective, lightweight, 4 seasons hammock. I've already tested its winter ability in the winter hammock test video that you can find in my videos. So I will link to that in the description when I post this video. So yeah, it's a fantastic hammock. The only problem is that Clark hammocks have closed their operation. They are no longer manufacturing these hammocks. The NX-270 is no longer available for purchase from Clark Outdoors, which is a dang shame. You know, as much as I don't want to support, you know, clones and fakes off of Amazon, if this is a hammock you've really wanted for a long time, and you know, you've been saving up money, or maybe you just heard about it, getting a clone off of Amazon at this point, since the original manufacturer is out of business, not so bad. You know, when it comes to equipment, you know, buy original. Go to the manufacturer, whether it's Woods from Canadian Tire or a Clark NX-270 from a company that's out of business now. You know, make sure you're getting from the manufacturer. I personally don't like to buy clones or China fakes, but if you've got your heart set on one of these bad boys, your only option now is to get a clone from China, which is unfortunate, but them's the breaks. So, here's to you, Clark. There are still some products available through the Clark website, but who knows how long they'll be available for. They'll keep that website running for as long as it takes to sell off all the equipment they have on hand. So last time I checked, there were still some Vertex hammocks available. Yeah, so you know, if you wanted a Vertex or a Mark II, you could still go and pick those up. Well, alright. Just gonna admire this thing for a minute. It's pretty awesome. What else can I say? When it comes to hammocks, like most people will recommend War Bonnet, Dream, Little Shop of Hammocks, and I'm not saying those are not good products. When it comes to cost, Clark is definitely above all of them. So that's why it's like, you know, in the hammock world, even when they were around, they weren't really recommended all that often, because if you're in the know and you know the know, then you know that Clark is more expensive than most people can afford. I was only able to pick this thing up because of some inheritance money that came my way, and that was it. That was the only reason I managed to get my hands on this. Otherwise, my hoser butt, my poor boy hoser bum, would never have been able to afford this amazing piece of equipment. So yeah, you know, here it is, Clark NX-270. I kind of put myself down a bit talking about other hammocks and stuff. This part might get edited out. How much is alcohol is in here? You're only 6.5%. All right. Well, if you've stuck with the rambling this long, thank you. Usually it's only my closest friends who are around to listen to my rambling ass, grumbling ass. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope I was able to provide some information about the Clark NX-270. Even though you can't buy them anymore from Clark, you could still manage to buy one from a private seller, or you could get an Amazon clone from China. But yeah, that's it. So you know, the ability to purchase one of these things now is a little bit limited, especially if you wanted it from the OEM. But yeah, you know, it stems the brakes. All right. Well, I'm definitely just poking at the lens now and taking up your time. So I'm gonna stop the video right